So shout out to this box set, this Both Sides box set, for kind of reminding me of the song Take Me With You, to the topic of today's short video. Take Me With You is a B-side from the Both Sides album, the Both Sides era. You know, how many B-sides do we get from Phil? Well, in the early days, we don't get too many because he just doesn't record them. And he is kind of scraping the barrel for music because he's a new songwriter. Some of the B-sides we would get on later albums, some of them would become Against All Odds. But as time goes on, like, we start to get more. You know, we have The Man with the Horn, we have We Said Hello Goodbye. But seriously, actually can't think of. Anyway, I have to go back to those CDs, those digital, and the Other Sides album they released digitally. Anyway, we get to Both Sides, we have a couple. And we have a reason for that, even though there's a lot of songs on the album, Both Sides. But this is Phil kind of doodling in his studio with some digital equipment and starting to do more demoing and ease of demoing because of the technology at his fingertips, literally. And so he's playing these big pads, he's playing these keyboards, some drum machines, some digital drums, some samples, and he's creating just a lot of stuff. He's very, very prolific. He's feeling free to write about whatever, to be honest. And also, he had this enormous success. And we talk about this absolutely mind-boggling era that goes from Mama to No Jacket Required to Easy Lover, Separate Lives, Invisible Touch, Buster, But Seriously. And then you could even throw in We Can't Dance in there, even though there was a bit of a break there, but not really. So just this incredibly successful era, which allows him to say, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to do my Nebraska. I'm going to do whatever album I feel like I just want to make, and I don't have any pressure. And maybe if I go back to my face value demo roots, they'll love me for it. Didn't work out too well. People didn't love it. I mean, they were just over Phil at this time. They were over Genesis. So I don't really think that it had much to do with Both Sides. I think if he came out with another No Jacket Required album in 1994, then it would have, or 93, it would have not been well received either. They'd be like, that sounds like 80s music. 80s music wasn't cool in the 90s as it is today. So he really just didn't have much that he could do to make people happy. And so just do a demos record. So we have like what's already a long record, and every song on this record is overly long. And Take Me With You is overly long. Why? I mean, not overly long, but it's a long tune. It's not a short 3.5-minute song, pop song. And it's because like you have these drum machines that are playing, and he creates these ambient soundscapes and these kind of bigger pads that he creates, and he just improvises and riffs into this sonic atmosphere and universe that he's created. And it can, for any musician, it can go on forever. It's kind of fun to do that. You feel like you're playing with a band. It's all digital, so nobody's getting tired or complaining. And you can riff and come up with new melodies and new lyrics. And so Take Me With You is a great example of that. Just created this like very big swelling pad with some nice like rides and rims happening. I believe these are all fake instruments, although at the time it could have been a real drum kit. I don't think any of this had been replaced yet. You know what I mean? I think like he had done some of the instruments digitally, and then when he went to the studio, he replaced some of them for the final album, not all of them. He still played everything. So is this in the demo form, or was this taken to the studio, brought to completion, and then just left off the record? I don't know. Based on what I'm hearing, it's a good mix. The lyrics are complete, I believe. There's no like mumbling. So I think this is probably album ready, with the exception of a few little solos and stuff. I'm not sure, but the mix is good. I think this is my favorite B-side from Both Sides. There's some duds on here. Some of the best B-sides, by the way, and I was just going through them, and oh my gosh, we need to do a whole video on the B-sides from Dance Into the Light. There's a ton on there, and there's some really, really good ones. In fact, there's one of, I think, could even be his best song ever, and I feel like he should still release it. We'll talk about that another day. Sonically, this feels like you could close your eyes and you could hear a little bit of But Seriously. Like, you know, in the moments of like, That's Just the Way It Is, or Do You Remember Find a Way to My Heart? Sort of. But it's way more 90s and adult contemporary. And so you can close your eyes, you can think a little bit about like Dance Into the Light and some of the kind of more softer, moodier moments of Dance in the Light. And this is where it sits right in between here. This is Can't Turn Back the Years. It's every day. It's just this, what I love about this album, and I love this album so much, and this box set really started to solidify how much I love Both Sides and how much the fans love Both Sides. When we talk about both sides, when I do things on this channel, I thought it was an album that was universally hated. And then when I talk about it, people are like, oh my gosh, I love that album. And I'm so happy to hear that. And I know Phil loves this record as well. But my favorite thing about this record is when he just creates these beautiful soundscapes that we can live in for 5 or 6 minutes. This song, tell me if you hear this, is the most Sting inspired song that Phil's ever done. And we know that they kind of had like a little bit of a back and forth. They respected and admired each other. They copied each other a little bit subconsciously or consciously. This to me feels like a great 90s Sting song. What I love about Sting is just this like simple continuity to his sounds and him just riffing and getting to hear his voice. This to me feels like a great Sting song. Now, there's some questions online. People talk about, should this have been on the record? It's a great question for all B-sides. And I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I think that the record, in other people's eyes, could suffer from a lack of singles, a lack of standout songs. And so you would have to remove something like maybe We're Sons of Our Fathers, which has a bit of a weird intro, but the rest of the song is really good. So you could take that off and put this on here, but it's a little too similar to Every Day and Can't Turn Back the Years. And then you have some real slow songs. I don't mind. I don't care about a record that has like no blatant singles other than, you know, Both Sides of the Story and Every Day and perhaps like We Wait and We Wonder, which is, those are standout tracks. But I don't think the album would suffer to have this song on it. And I think if you swapped it out with like one of the somewhat weaker tracks, I don't think it would make or break the record. I think there's a lot of people who love this song, but I don't think it would have made this record sell better or worse. He also sings like Take Me Home a couple times in this song, which is, you know, always callbacks. He always does callbacks. Not always, but he has done callbacks before to his own material. It's cute. I like it. I really like it. I think it was released. I've heard it before, so I think it had been released on that Other Sides album. I think it had been released perhaps as a B-side to when they did the 2016 Take a Look at Me Now stuff on CD and digital. I don't remember if it was on CD or if it was on the digital version. I don't remember. They released a bunch of stuff from like 2015 till now. And I'm trying to, you know, just remember what came where. On this, like this box set, there's so many weird things about this box set, even though I love it. For example, Hanging Long Enough, Hand in Hand, Doesn't Anybody Stay Together Anymore. Always. There's like songs that aren't both sides related. Why are those on there? You know what I mean? You're going to be doing more box sets like this, hopefully for But Seriously and No Jacket Required. So why not save those for them for then? I don't know why this had to be 5 discs. Maybe that's all that would fit in the box. It was a predetermined size. Maybe that's a price point they were going for. But like there is a record on here of demos and B-sides. And so half of them are demos. And then you have Don't Call Me Ashley, Rad Dudesky, For a Friend. I've been trying all good songs. I've been trying is beautiful. Why wasn't Take Me With You on there? It's too long, I guess. I don't know. Like this to me was, I don't know why Take Me With You is the last song on this whole box set. But anyway, I just wanted to remember it, think about it, listen to it. Let me know what you think about Take Me With You. We got to do a video on the Phil Collins B-sides, but I can't do it until I've really steeped myself in all of the B-sides. And, you know, just the other day I was listening to that Dance and Delight album that had a bunch, I think it was called Dance Lessons, has a bunch of Dance and Delight demos and B-sides. And I'm like, oh yeah, forgot about these songs. So I got to really get myself into a lot of these tunes. And, you know, there's some like B-sides from Tarzan that are on the Broadway stuff that I'm not too familiar with. It's not really B-sides because they were newly recorded. Anyway, there's just so many that are out there, and some of them like don't see the light of day more than others. Like we have some B-sides that have been floating around for quite a while and are more accessible than others, like The Man with the Horn. And then, you know, even like Don't Call Me Ashley or that kind of stuff. You hear them every now and then. But then stuff like I Like the Way I love that, but that's been buried. That's really been hid away. So you don't really encounter that song very often. Anyway. Okay, I've talked too long. Let me know what you think of this song, Take Me With You, the B-side from Both Sides.